Hey friends, it's Erinn and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am delighted to have a new friend. Thank you for watching, and this is my channel where I talk about health, creativity, home herbalism, and how to just be more empowered in your body and in your home. Today, I'm excited to share with you some books that have helped me along my personal self-healing journey and that I think will really be supportive for you as well. Before I get into it, I just wanted to let you know I'm over on Instagram at Erinn with 2 N's, so come over and say hi. Love to make new friends and meet you. Welcome to also my new apothecary, so it's the same space as it was before, except I've now changed walls and I'm now next to the window, so everything kind of looks the same but different. So this is my new space. I do want to talk quickly about holistic health because these are books that may not be typical like health and wellness books that you might think of, but the reason that I'm talking about these books specifically is because I am a practicer and believer of holistic health. So what is holistic health? So for me, the way that I would define it is caring for yourself in a way that looks at you and others as a whole person instead of just the physical or just one aspect of your physical, maybe like a symptom that you're experiencing. So it's understanding that all parts of you are connected and that all parts affect the whole. So an example would be that if there's like something going on in your stomach, let's say, that understanding that it might not even be the stomach that's the actual issue. It could be emotional, it could be spiritual, or it could even be another part of the body that is creating that symptom in the other part of the body. Briefly, I just want to also give you some context for why and how I'm able to talk about this. So I am a holistic health coach. I was trained in holistic health and coaching back in 2012 at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition and also Health Coach Institute, which is 2 schools that train holistic health coaches. Anyways, I'm not gonna go into that, but I just wanted to let you know that I have studied health, I have studied holistic health, and these are books that have personally helped me along my health and healing journey, which has been pretty intense in the last 10 or so years. So let's jump into it. I'm gonna share with you my favorite books that have helped me in my self-healing journey that I believe can help you. And I also wanna say that this is not an extensive list or the best list by any means. I'm sure there are many other beautiful books out in the world that can support your holistic health and self-healing journey. These are just the ones that have truly touched and changed my life and my health that I'm excited to share with you. So let's jump in. Okay, so first I have You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. This book is such an amazing book. I think this is maybe even like one of the first editions. It was published in the 80s. Louise Hay was really the pioneer and one of the first people to talk about how our emotions and our beliefs and our internal world affects our physical world. And one of my favorite things about this book is in the back of the book, there is basically a little dictionary, for lack of a better word, that shows different symptoms, so different things that you might be experiencing. Eczema, dizziness, diarrhea. So it has the physical symptoms and then it has the emotional symptom or the belief that you may be carrying that is creating that physical symptom in your body. Really, really powerful. She is the pioneer of this work as far as I know, and this is like such a beautiful foundation of what I would say holistic health is understanding that when we believe something, our brain literally sorts for evidence to validate our beliefs. And that when we have a belief about something, that our body internalizes that and that symptoms can be created from that belief and that literal repetitive thought that we're thinking in our head. So let me just give you one example of one thing in here so you can have some context for what I'm talking about. I know a good one. Okay. So let's do cellulite, okay? So cellulite is in here, and what she says about cellulite is about getting stuck in early childhood pain, holding on to the lumps and the bumps of the past, difficulty in moving forward, and fear of choosing your own direction. So she has the physical symptom, she has the thought or the belief that's creating that symptom, and then she has an affirmation to say to help to heal and reverse and essentially correct that negative way of thinking. So for cellulite, it says, I forgive everyone. I forgive myself. I forgive all past experiences. I am free. So really, really beautiful book. This is actually my mom's copy from the 80s. The inside of the book, it didn't really fully, I didn't really feel like I needed it. What I love about this book is the dictionary part in the back. Whenever I'm experiencing a symptom or feeling something in my body or I have an accident, I always look up what the emotional or the belief root cause is of that experience. So definitely recommend this one. It's a great, great one to start with if you're exploring how your beliefs and your thoughts affect and create the reality that you're experiencing in your body. So the next book on my list is The True Power of Water by Masaru Emoto. So this book is super powerful and amazing. I just remember reading it and being super blown away. So what he does and what he's famous for is essentially showing how intention and consciousness and music and words affect water. And so why do I have this book in a video about holistic health? Because we are made of 70% water. So this kind of goes along with my first book recommendation, is really understanding how our thoughts and our intentions and our beliefs affect our reality in terms of our physical body, and how we actually have the power to essentially program our cells, which are mostly water, and also programming the physical water that we're drinking. Really powerful. So he does experiments where he takes different containers of water and he'll play different kinds of music to them. For example, he might play like rap music to one and classical music to another, and then he'll freeze that water and take photographs of the crystals that the water creates. So essentially, when water freezes, he found that it creates these crystals that he can actually found a way to photograph. The other thing that he'll do is he'll say different words to water. Like he'll say, I love you to one container of water. He'll say, I hate you to another container of water. He'll say compassion. He'll say love, different things, right? Like positive and then yucky words or yucky energy words to water or yucky intentions to water. And then he'll freeze that. And you can actually see when you direct positive, loving intention toward water, the crystals come out beautiful. They're symmetrical. They almost look angelic. But when you direct negative thoughts or unkind thoughts, it almost looks like the water crystals look sick. And he's actually also done experiments where he's taken large groups of people to bodies of water that have found to be poisoned. And he's taken before and after pictures of the crystals of the water before they came and prayed to the water, and then after they came and prayed to the water. And the water molecules and crystals literally transform from this yucky, diseased looking crystal to a beautiful symmetrical crystal. It's really amazing. And so one of the things that I've gotten from this book is just realizing how my words affect my reality, how my thoughts affect my reality and my body, and also realizing how I can program the water I drink with positive intent, with love. I even sometimes take my stickers that I have. So I have some stickers that I've created from my art pieces. I will put them next to water so that the water can absorb the positive energy. I just like doing that. It's like programming my water. Or I will literally say, I love you. I'll say positive thoughts and loving thoughts to my water before I drink it. So this is just a really super powerful way to understand the power of our intention, the power of our thoughts, and the power of water, and how we can literally change the molecules of our bodies with our thoughts and our intent. So amazing. Next, I want to talk about What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. This book is really beautiful for helping you realize how are you talking to yourself, the dialogue that's going on inside of your head, and helping you understand how to recreate and reweave your thoughts so that they are loving, so that they are supportive, so that they are kind. We should really be thinking and saying positive, loving thoughts towards ourselves. If you are like self-hating, if you are thinking negative thoughts, oh, I'm so fat or dumb or whatever it is, like that is affecting your health. As I said, we're looking at health from a holistic perspective, meaning that it's not just about what's going on physically and putting a band-aid on that, right? It's also about like, what am I eating? What am I thinking? Like all of these ways that we're nourishing ourselves. We nourish ourselves with more than just food. We nourish ourselves with our thoughts. We nourish ourselves with the content that we're ingesting. So if you feel like you have some negative self-talk going on, which let's be honest, probably most of us do, this is a really beautiful place to start, and is just a wonderful way to become aware of the thoughts that you're thinking towards yourself and how to shift that so that you are sending more love and positivity into yourself. I think we could all use a little bit more self-love, and this is a great place to start. Next, we have Nourishing Wisdom by Marc David. So Marc David was one of my teachers when I went to health coaching school. So Nourishing Wisdom is about how to eat rather than what to eat. So he explores psychology in food, how we crave different foods depending on our environment in terms of like the weather, but also like where we are in the world and what type of energy we need to fuel us in that environment. He also talks about how we receive from that food. So not just like eating mindlessly, but sitting down, eating with intention, eating with gratitude. He also talks about freeing ourselves from the ways that we think of food as like good or bad, and how our attitude about food reflects our attitude to life itself. So this is a really beautiful deep dive into the other ways that we get nourished by food besides just what is the nutritional value of the food. It's a holistic perspective. There's that word again, holistic perspective on eating and on food and on understanding how to truly nourish ourselves. Okay, next I have a couple books for you ladies out there. So first I want to talk about Womb Wisdom. So a few years ago, I found this book when I was starting to dive into my femininity and the sacred feminine and sort of exploring my menstrual cycle and having an honoring approach, having an honoring attitude, having appreciation for the sacredness of my body and of the cycles that move through me. This taps into indigenous ways of honoring the body. It's a very spiritual book, I would say, not religious, but looking at how to see our bodies as more divine, more beautiful, more sacred. So for women that are having I would say painful cycles, painful cramps, or issues with their female reproductive organs or sexuality, wanting to see your body and your cycles as sacred, this is a really beautiful book. I actually, a few years ago when I read this book, I gathered a few women. I think there was like 6 of us. We read this book and then we did a women's circle around this book. And it was one of the most powerful and beautiful experiences of my life. I now see my body with so much more reverence and appreciation and gratitude. I don't see my cycle as like this burden thing anymore. I see it as something beautiful and sacred, and a time for me to literally release all of the stored energy, stored emotions that have been trapped in me for the past 30 days. So if you're looking for a way to love your body more as a woman, to honor your body more, to see your body as sacred, this book, it is so beautiful. Highly recommend. Okay, so on the same note as women's books and honoring your body, I want to talk about Moon Time by Louise H. Pearce. This book is very, very practical. It talks about the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle, how to understand and emotionally, physically, energetically, creatively, where you might be at the different phases of the cycle. She shows the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle here on this page. This has been one of my favorite resources to go to. I didn't even really know that there were 4 phases to the menstrual cycle until I found this book and until I found Womb Wisdom and started researching and understanding my body more. So the 4 cycles are the follicular, the ovulatory, the luteal, and the menstrual. And so this chart talks about what is the moon phase associated with each of those, what is the season associated, what's the element, what are your hormones doing, what is physically happening in your body, what emotions are likely coming up during that time, and your energy levels. So when in your cycle do you have lots of energy to be creative and be out in the world doing things? And when in your cycle do you really just need to like go inward? Or when will you be most creative? When will you be moving into creativity, moving out of creativity? This is a really just practical, amazing book to understand the cycle, the 4 phases that you go through every month. Also a really amazing book I would recommend to anybody who has a child that is, you know, starting to get her period, and it would be a really beautiful way to educate kids on, just how to understand and have more respect and reverence and understanding for the menstrual cycle versus just, oh, it's annoying, it's my period, it sucks, blah, blah, blah. When I have a daughter, I want to create a feeling of reverence and teach her to honor and respect her cycle and teach her how to move with the cycle. You know, I think that's one of the issues for us women is we're not taught about these things. And so we just see it as a pain in the ass, but there's no opportunity to actually understand what's going on. And so for me, this has helped me to really understand what's going on in my body and to schedule my life, my business, regulate how much energy I'm gonna have at certain times of the month, so that I don't get blindsided by feeling tired and have expectations of myself that aren't actually in alignment with what my body's going through. So I highly, highly recommend this one for anyone that bleeds, essentially. And it says Moon Time, a guide to celebrating your menstrual cycle. Very, very practical, very, very helpful, super thin and easy. I think I got it on Amazon, so I highly recommend this book. Next, we're gonna get back into a little more like spiritual. If you are familiar with the chakra system, then this will be a deep dive into the chakra system. If you're not, then you get to start learning about that. So we have all these physical parts, right? But we also have energy centers in different parts of our body. We have our crown chakra, which is above our head, which is what connects us to source or something greater. We have our third eye right here, which is all about intuition and seeing. We have our throat, which is our voice, communication, and our ears, hearing, right? So communication going in, going out, and coming in. We have our heart chakra, which is obviously love, compassion. We have our solar plexus, which is our power, our will, confidence, you might say. We have our sacral, which is that like lower energy underneath your belly button, which is like your creative energy, your sexual energy, your connection and relationships with others. And then you have your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, which is all about like home and grounding and being in the body and safety, basic primal needs. And then even below that, we have our earth chakra, which connects us into the earth. So the book that I want to share with you on this is called Anatomy of the Spirit by Myss, or I think she says Carolyn Myss. So she is a medical intuitive, which means that she can tap into other people's energy fields and she can see what's going on. She can help to understand what is happening from a mental, emotional, and spiritual perspective to help create healing in the body. So in this book, she goes through each and every chakra and talks about the energy there, what's going on, what issues can arise if this area in your energy is out of balance. And then she talks about actual people that she had sessions with and the issues that they came to her with and what she saw in their energy that was going on that was actually creating the issue in their body. So this is another really amazing way to just sort of understand your body from not just the physical context. You know, in our Western medicine and in our culture, at least where I am in the United States, it's pretty much all about just what's going on with the physical. But this book is very much about understanding how beliefs and experiences and traumas and what's going on in our life in relationships can actually have an impact on these different chakra systems and these different areas of our body that can create these different physical symptoms. So if you have something going on in your body and you want to understand from a deeper perspective what's going on in a spiritual perspective, or just to help widen your understanding of your own health, this book is so beautiful. I love this book. Whenever there's something going on with a certain chakra area, I always refer back to this book to help me just kind of deepen and understand and open up and heal that area. So I really recommend this book, and I love her work. I love all her work. This is the only book I've ever read, but I've watched tons of lectures of hers on YouTube for free. Highly recommend checking her out. She is a really amazing teacher. So next up, we have The Sacred Art of Anointing. This is by Allison Stillman. So she talks a lot in this book about the ancient uses of essential oils and also the chakras. So understanding how these different plants and these different oils can help to heal and awaken different areas of our body, our different energy centers, how they were used and how they were seen as sacred. If you're into essential oils or plant medicine, this book is really cool. I never really had full reverence and respect for essential oils and for plant medicine until I read this book. It just gave me such a sacred context for using oils, using plants like, you know, frankincense and stuff like that. This book was highly influential to me and I just loved it. I had fun reading it. As I was getting into oils, it was just, yeah, one of the things that helped me to deep dive even deeper and have, as I said, a true appreciation for the fact that we can just in this modern day, you know, go to the grocery store or call up Young Living and order a bottle of frankincense or whatever it is. But back in the day, these oils, these herbs were so sacred and special, and only certain people at certain times got to use them. They were as rare and expensive as gold. So it's just really cool to have a new perspective on them. As I said, the book goes into the chakras as well and using crystals and essential oils and plants to heal those areas. So really, really cool book. Okay, I have here Full Body Presence by Suzanne Scurlock-Durana. When I found this book, I literally thought to myself, I need to meet this woman, because if you've been following me for more than a year, you know that my beginning of my entrepreneurial journey was teaching about body awareness, about getting into the body, about how feeling and being connected with your body is the bridge to creating health and wellness. You know, in our culture, we're just taught to operate from the neck up. That if we have an issue, we should just think it to death. We should just, figure out the solution up here. But there's so much wisdom going on beneath the neck, in the body. The body is actually talking to us and sending us information and signals. You might call that intuition. There's so much going on underneath the neck or below the neck. And so this book is about really fully embodying your body, right? Like, when you're sitting here listening to this video, can you feel your body? Are you aware of your body? How aware and how in your body are you when you're moving throughout life? I know for me, in 2014, 15, when I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, I was not in my body. I was not grounded. I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of neck up. Like, I was living very neck up. And so this book really helped me It just affirmed actually what I was already doing, what I was already teaching. It helped me to understand it in a new way, in new words. So if you're feeling like you have a lot of anxiety or you have trouble feeling connected to your body, this is a really cool book. Learning to listen to your body's wisdom. Awesome. Next we have Earthing, the most important discovery ever. This book is so powerful and talks about that the earth actually has an electromagnetic field that is conducive to creating healing in the body. And so when we are not spending time in nature, when we are not feeling connected with the earth, it's not really conducive to our highest and best health. We are earth creatures. We are daughters and sons of the planet, and our ancestors and our whole lineage knew that. They were connected to the earth. They weren't staring at screens. They were sleeping outside under the moon, under the stars. So this book talks about how when you actually physically connect your body to the earth, to the grass, to the plants, to whatever it is, that is a really powerful way to bring more healing energy into your system. There's also a documentary on, I think either YouTube or Vimeo, called Earthing, and that I watched and it changed my life. Initially, it starts out as this guy who lives in Alaska, and he basically discovered the healing power of earthing. He was having all these issues. His fingers were numb, his toes were numb because it was just so cold. And he started connecting physically his body with the earth, even in like freezing cold weather. And his hand and feet started to come back to life. So this is a testament to the power of physically connecting your body with the earth, with the elements of the earth, with the plants and the herbs, right? So really beautiful book. If you don't want to go read the book, you can also look up Earthing, the documentary, on either Vimeo or YouTube. Next is the Herbal Kitchen. Okay, so if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know how much I love this book. This isn't necessarily an informational book about the power of herbs. What it is it has tons of recipes and ways that you can bring herbs into your kitchen, doing and eating things that you're probably already eating, like oils and honeys and ghee and vinegar and different things like that. Makes herbalism very easy, very user-friendly, and basically just helps you bring herbs into your kitchen so that you can benefit from herbal medicine without needing to make advanced medicines or being some fancy practitioner, right? So that's like one of the biggest messages of my channel, is that it is your birthright to connect with the plants, to connect with the earth. You have medicine, woman, men in your lineage. There is no doubt. It is absolutely 100% positive that you have connection to these plants. And this is just a practical, beautiful, simple way to actually bring these herbs and plants into your home, into your body, into your kids' bodies, into your friends and family. And these herbs and plants all have super amazing healing properties that you can be using by not having to do anything really too much different from what you're already doing. You're already eating, you're already probably cooking for yourself, nourishing yourself in some way or another. So if you can actually take food and supercharge it, I mean, that's amazing, right? And one of the most important things about health is understanding that we can be proactive in preventing things from going wrong in our bodies by, as I said, being aware of what are we thinking, what are we consuming, and how are we consuming it, and what is our attitude toward what we're consuming, and putting yummy supercharged ingredients into what we're consuming. So I highly recommend this book. I'm never going to stop talking about it. I'm never going to stop recommending it. So I hope you're not getting sick of it, because I'm just going to keep going on it. In my whole journey with herbalism, this has really been the book that has helped me to just not just like keep learning about herbs, but actually like using herbs. I have a good amount of things from this book going up there, some infused oils, some infused vinegars that I'm super excited to use and bring into my kitchen. So I highly recommend this book if you're new to herbalism, or even if you're not. She makes it super simple, and this is just a great way to supercharge your food with some plant medicine. And then last but not least, I have these two massive books that were actually my mom's books. I think maybe in the 80s. I don't know when these were published. But Prescription for Natural Cures. This is also a great one to just kind of look up what's going on in your body, and it gives you natural remedies. And then I also have this second one that is very similar, Prescription for Nutritional Healing. So if you're someone who doesn't necessarily like to Google things, or you know, you really like to have something like a physical book on hand to look stuff up, these are two great ones. So if you don't mind that and that doesn't intimidate you, then these are great ones to have on hand as well. I would love to hear, what are your favorite health and wellness or self-healing or holistic health books or resources? Share with me in the comments, and thank you for watching. Come over to Instagram. I'm at Erinn with 2 N's. Come and say hi. I would love to meet you. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week on a new video. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I post new videos every week, and I would love to see you. And I put a lot of time and energy into creating these videos, so even just your thumbs up or your comment means a lot to me. Okay, friends, lots of love, and I will see you next week on a new video then. Okay,